everyone. This is Spanish First, and you will be learning Spanish from these lectures and will be so happy. Spanish First provides so many courses, and this course is one of them. We really hope you enjoy all of this. There are so many countries that speak Spanish you won't even believe. There are around 20 countries of the world that speak Spanish. Obviously, we all know Spain speaks Spanish the most in the world. Spanish is the national language of Spain. Apart from Spain, Latin America speaks Spanish. All of Latin America speaks Spanish except Brazil. That's why these days Spanish has become so important to learn. More than French, in many countries, Spanish is spoken. Spanish is slowly gaining popularity amongst all the people, and it is so important to be bilingual in this world because it makes you look so good in front of everyone. It makes your mind sharp, so it's always better to learn a foreign language. Then why not go ahead with Spanish? Spanish is also the easiest language of Europe. Its grammar is so sweet, it sounds so sweet when you speak with someone. So go ahead and learn this language. It is so popular. Apart from this language is also spoken in United States of America. After English, it is the second most spoken language. But you know what? You should also know that why Spanish is spoken so much in this world. Spanish is spoken because in Latin America, many Spaniards had come over many years ago after 1492 when the Americas were discovered by Christopher Columbus. That's when missionaries came over to Latin America and spread their language. Hola! You know, this is such a famous greeting. It means hi in Spanish. Now, in this course, you will learn so many things. You will learn lots and lots of vocabulary, and you will have so many exercises to do after each chapter. You will have tons of chapters to learn from ABCD, greetings, how to conjugate verbs. You will learn how to speak about your house, how to describe a friend, how to describe your subjects, what subject you like, etc. You'll be also learning how to speak in different kinds of markets, such as fruits and vegetables, restaurants, airports, etc. And this course is so easy. I have made everything so easy for everyone that you will think that this is as easy as learning alphabets. And I'm so sure that you will really enjoy, and you will want to just go ahead with Spanish and take up a higher level of this language. Don't be afraid of this. Spanish is so easy, and it's always important and always necessary to learn a foreign language. So please go ahead. My advice is to you, go ahead and learn Spanish. We're now going to do the Spanish alphabets. El alfabeto, the alphabet. This is a very interesting course that you will be studying right now. As you can see, some letters have an asterisk beside them. Those letters are J, double L, double R, okay? And also the N that has a curly line. So there are 4 of them. There are extra letters. In English language, we do not have these letters. Let's practice the pronunciation of all these letters. The pronunciation of each letter is written in the brackets, as you can see. Letter A in Spanish is pronounced A, B, B, C, C, CH, Che. This is an extra letter in Spanish. D, D, E, E, F, F, G, K, H, H, I, E, J, Kota. Be very careful, we pronounce J as Kota. K, K, L, L. Then we have double L. It is pronounced as Elie if you're in Spain, or Eye if you're in Latin America. The double L is pronounced as Y in Latin America. In Spain, it is pronounced as Lia. So double L is Elie or Eye.
M, M, N, N. This N with the curly line on top is pronounced N. The N with the curly line is near. O, O, P, P, Q, Q, R, R, double R, R, S, S, T, T, U, U, V, V, W, W, X, X, Y, Y, Z, Z. Again. A, B, C, Ch, D, E, F, K, H, I, J, K, L, L, M, N, N, O, P, Q, R, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z. Now let's do this with a song. A, B, C, Ch, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, L, M. Once again. A, B, C, Ch, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, L, M. Next column. N, N, O, P, Q, R, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z. A, B, C, Ch, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, L, M. N, N, O, P, Q, R, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z. This is a nice song that you can learn in order to practice the alphabets.
We will start with another verb called vivir. This verb means to live. Let's now look at this verb in a table. Like other verbs, we will first conjugate this verb and then translate it. Let's look at the subject pronouns once again. We always start the conjugation with writing the subject pronouns first. The first subject pronoun we write is yo. Yo means I. Then we write tu. It means you. Always remember that tu is an informal subject. It's informal you. Then we write el, which means he. Then we write ella, which means she. And then we write usted, which is formal you. Then we write nosotros, which is we. Vosotros, which is you all. Ellos, they masculine. Ellas, they feminine. And ustedes, formal you all. Please remember that vosotros also means informal you all. In the second column, we will write the conjugation of the verb vivir. With yo, we will write vivo. With tu, we write vives. For él, ella, usted, we will write vive. For nosotros, we will write vivimos. For vosotros, we write vivís with an accent on the I. For ellos, ellas, ustedes, we write viven. Now we can conjugate this conjugation in the third column. The translation of yo vivo is I live. Tu vives is you live, informal. Él, ella, usted vive means he lives. She lives. You live, formal. Basically, él vive means he lives. Ella vive means she lives. Usted vive means you live. Then nosotros vivimos translation is we live. Vosotros vivís means you all live, formal. Ellos viven, they live, masculine. Ellas viven, they live, feminine. Ustedes viven, you all live, formal. Now that we know the conjugation of the verb vivir, we are ready to make sentences with vivir. Our first sentence will be made with the subject pronoun yo, and the correct conjugation of vivir we write with yo is vivo. Vivo means I live, and yo also means I. So, the first sentence we will write is yo vivo en una casa grande y bonita. This means I live in a big and a beautiful house. Yo means I, vivo means I live, en means in, una casa means a house, grande y bonita means big and beautiful. We are writing grande y bonita in the last of the sentence because, as it was learned earlier, we always write adjectives after the noun in Spanish. And we write una with casa because casa is a feminine noun. It is a feminine noun because it is ending in an A. Our second sentence we will again write with yo vivo. Yo vivo en un barrio. This means I live in a neighborhood. Yo means I, vivo means I live, en means in, un barrio means a neighborhood. Number 3. Nosotros vivimos en un chalet. This means we live in a bungalow. Nosotros means we all, vivimos means we all live, en means in, un chalet means a bungalow. We are writing un with chalet because chalet is a masculine noun and un is a masculine article. Next sentence. Ana vive con su familia. Ana is a girl's name. Vive means she lives. Con means with. Su familia means her family. Please notice that we are writing the conjugation of the third person of vivir, which is vive, because Ana is a girl and it is a she. So we will use the earlier conjugation of vivir, which is vive. Now you can write your own sentences using this verb vivir and translate them into English. Let's revise the conjugation once again. Always remember that when you are conjugating this verb, you will only write vivo with yo, you will only write vives with tu. You cannot write, for example, yo vive or yo vivimos, or you cannot write, for example, tu vive, tu viven, tu vivis. You will have to say yo vivo or tu vives and etc. Because these are the rules, these are the proper conjugations. Because if you write something like yo vives, it will be wrong. It will mean you live. Vives means you live. And you live will only come with tu as it's written in the conjugation. So you have to learn this conjugation properly so that you can write proper sentences. Here is another exercise to do. This is a translation exercise. Here you will be able to revise verb ser, verb tener, and verb vivir. Let's look at the first sentence. Our first sentence is Yo soy de la India. If you remember, yo means I and soy means I am. Of means from or of, and la India means India. All these words were taught earlier. So the translation will be I am from India. Now you have to try to translate the remaining sentences from B to J, and then we will go over all these sentences. Now, letter B. Let's look at the translation. The exercise is Yo tengo una mascota bonita. It means I have a beautiful pet. We all know that yo means I, and tengo means I have. Una mascota means a pet, and bonita means beautiful. So the translation would be I have a beautiful pet. Notice that once again we are writing the word bonita after mascota. We are not saying yo tengo una mascota. We are not saying yo tengo una bonita mascota because, as it was explained earlier also, we cannot write the adjective before the noun. It will always come after the noun. That's why bonita, which is an adjective, is coming after the noun, which is mascota. Letter C. Ana vive con su familia en una casa en un barrio. Now this sentence means Anna lives with her family in a house in a neighborhood. So again, Anna is a girl's name. Vive means she lives. It also means he lives, but we cannot write that he lives here because Anna is a girl's name. So we will say Anna lives, which means she lives. And con means with. Su familia means her family. Also remember that su means his, but in this case we will write her. En una casa means in a house. En un barrio means in a neighborhood. Notice that we are writing un with barrio because barrio is a masculine noun. And it is a masculine noun because it is ending in an O. So we will write un barrio instead of una barrio. Letter D. Maria es de Australia. This means Maria is from Australia. Always remember that de means of or from. Number E. Miguel y Antonia viven en un chalet. Miguel and Antonia live in a chalet. We are writing viven over here because Miguel and Antonia make up the subject of ellos. And as you remember, the ellos conjugation of vivir is viven. Miguel and Antonia make the subject of ellos because they are two people. So we will consider them they instead of we or you all or you or I because it's talking about two people and two other people. So it will be considered the ellos subject, and the conjugation of vivir for ellos is viven. Letter F. Carmen tiene un bolígrafo. Carmen has a pen. Okay, so basically tiene is the conjugation of tener and it is el-elia conjugation of tener. If you remember, we say yo tengo, tú tienes, el-elia tiene. El-elia tiene means he has, she has. So, and Carmen is a girl's name. Un bolígrafo means a pen. Bolígrafo is a masculine noun because it is ending in an O. Hence we say un bolígrafo instead of writing una bolígrafo. Letter G. Laura tiene un gato. Laura has a cat. As you can see, we are using the conjugation of elia over here of tener, which is tiene. So that is the only conjugation we can write with the third person. We cannot write tengo because that is the conjugation of yo. We can't write tienes because that is the conjugation of you. And un gato means a cat. So Laura tiene un gato's translation would be Laura has a cat. Letter H. Vosotros vivís en una casa en una granja. This means you all live in a house in a farm. Vosotros vivís means you all live. En una casa means in a house. En una granja means in a farm. Letter I. Ellos viven en Nueva Delhi. They live in New Delhi. Ellos means they masculine. Viven mean they live. En Nueva Delhi means New Delhi. Please also remember that ellos, which is they, is a they of masculine, and it can also be used when boys and girls are together in a group, whereas ellas will only be used when only girls are in a group. So let's recap. Ellos is used when boys are there in a group only, and it can also be used for a group that consists of both boys and girls. And ellas is only used when there is a group of girls. Letter J. Tú eres Antonia. You are Antonia. Eres is the conjugation of verb ser, and it is used with second person. We say yo soy, which means I am, tú eres, which means you are informal, and él, ella, usted, which means he is, she is. Tú eres Antonia, therefore means you are Antonia. You might want to write 10 more sentences using verb ser, tener, and vivir to practice more of these conjugations. We're now going to work on los días de la semana, los meses y la hora. The translation of this is days of the week, months, and time. Here are the days of the week in the Spanish language. Let's practice first the pronunciation. El lunes, Monday. El martes, Tuesday. El miércoles, Wednesday. El jueves, Thursday. Notice that J's pronunciation is H. El viernes, Friday. El sábado, Saturday. El domingo, Sunday. Now here are some keywords. Hoy, today. Ayer, yesterday. Mañana, tomorrow. Hoy es el lunes. Here are some sentences. Hoy es el lunes means today is Monday. As you know, hoy means today, es means is, el lunes means Monday. Notice that in Spanish, all the days of the week start with the lowercase letter, unlike in English where all the days of the week start with a capital letter. And they're also followed with the article el. That's why we say el lunes and not lunes only. We can also say things like hoy es el martes, it means today is Tuesday. Hoy es el miércoles, it means today is Wednesday, etc. Mañana es el martes. Tomorrow it is or tomorrow is Tuesday. As you know, mañana means tomorrow, es means is, and el martes means Tuesday. So tomorrow it is Tuesday. The third sentence. Ayer era el domingo. Yesterday it was Sunday. Ayer means yesterday, era means it was, and el domingo means Sunday. So ayer era el domingo means yesterday it was Sunday. You can add any days that you want in these sentences. For example, you can say ayer era el sábado or ayer era el viernes, which means yesterday it was Friday. Here are some months of the year. We say, for example, los meses del año. It means months of the year. El mes means the month. Los meses means the months. Año means year. So let's practice the pronunciation. Enero, febrero, marzo or marzo, because Z is pronounced as th or sa. Abril, mayo, junio, julio, agosto, septiembre, octubre, noviembre, diciembre. Let's make some sentences with these months, but before making these sentences, we should learn some keywords. Después de means after, and después de means antes de means before. We can say one sentence such as enero es antes de febrero. Enero means January, es means is, antes de means before, and febrero you know means February. So the translation of the sentence is January is before February. We can say marzo es después de febrero. Marzo is March, es is, después de means after, and febrero means February. So the translation of this question is March is after February. You can say another sentence, for example, saying your birthday, you can say something like Mi cumpleaños es en octubre. My birthday is in October. Mi means my, cumpleaños means birthday, es means is, en means in, and octubre means October. Hence the translation is my birthday is in October. We're now going to learn how to tell time in Spanish. In order to tell the time, first it is necessary that we tell some keywords to you. So the first keyword over here is de la mañana, which means in the morning or AM. For example, when we say it is 6 o'clock in the morning, we will use de la mañana. The second word is de la tarde. It means in the afternoon or in the night or PM. For example, we say it is 4 o'clock in the afternoon, or it is 9 o'clock in the night, or it is 9 PM. Another word is a las, which means at. For example, I have lunch at 2. Okay, then we say es la. It means it is used for it is 1, for example. And then we have son las. It also means it is, and it will be used for example, it is 2 o'clock or it is 3 o'clock. The next one is punto. It means o'clock. For example, we say it is 3 o'clock or it is 9 o'clock, etc. Here is la hora, which means the time. When you have to ask somebody what time is it, we always say ¿Qué hora es? It means what time is it? Now there are many ways to say the time. We look at the blue box given on the right hand corner at the top. If we want to say it is 1, we say es la una. Es la una means it is 1. And as you can see from the diagram, en punto means o'clock. I had also explained this earlier. For example, if you want to say it is 1 o'clock, you will say es la una. If you want to say son las dos, it means it is 2 o'clock. Son las tres means it is 3 o'clock. Son las cuatro, it is 4 o'clock, etc. Son las cinco, it is 5. Son las seis, it is 6, and etc. Now, what if we want to say it is 2:05? You can look at the clock and you can see how we say it is, 2:05. We will say son las 2:05. So it means it is 2 and 5. If we want to say it is 2:10, we will say son las 2:10. It actually means it is 2 and 10. If we want to say it is 2:15, we say son las 2:15. It actually means it is 2 and a quarter. We all know that 15 in Spanish means quince, but we do not use quince in time. We instead use cuarto. The second sentence we can say over here is it is 4:20. This will be said as son las 4:20 because son las 4 means it is 4 and y20 means n20. Son las 7, it is 7. Okay, so we can say son las 7:30. It means it is 7 and 30. Media means half. We cannot say 30 with this because with time we can't use 30. Instead we will say media, which means a half. Son las 7:30. It is 7:30 or it is 7:30. Let's look at the orange box or peach colored box under the clock. You can see, for example, we have written it is 2:20, son las 2:20. We will say it is 2:25. It will be said as son las 2:25. Now, what happens when the bigger hand, the minute hand of the clock strikes after 6? In this case, what we do is we add one number after the 2 and minus from 60 the second number. For example, 2:35 will be say son las 3:25. We do 2 plus 1 in this case, which is 3, and 3 is called tres in Spanish. Then we do 60 minus 35 because in 1 hour there is 60 minutes. So we do 60 minus 35 equals to 25 minutes. So it is actually son las 3. It does not really 3 o'clock. It's not actually 3 o'clock. So that's why we say menos, which means minus. So we're saying it is 3 o'clock minus 25 minutes. It gives us 2:35. We all know that 25 means 25. Let's look at 2:40. Again, we say son las 3:20. Again, this means it is 3 minus 20 minutes. This equals to 2:40. So again, what we're doing over here is we're adding one number to 2. It gives us 3. And then we do 60 minus 40. It gives us 20. So we do son las 3:20. Let's look at 2:45. Again, we will add one number to 2. And then we do 60 minus 45. It brings 15. So it is son las 3:15 means it is 3 o'clock minus a quarter or minus 15 minutes. This gives us 2:45. We're doing again, once again, I'll repeat, we do 60 minus 45, it is 15 or a quarter. If we want to say it is 250, again we will say son las 3 menos 10, it means it is 3 o'clock minus 10 minutes. How did we get that? We do 2 plus 1, we add one number to the left hand number. So 2 plus 1 is 3. Here we got son las 3, but it is not exactly 3 o'clock, so we say minus 10 minutes. How did we get 10? We do 60 minus 50 equals to 10. Why do we minus it by 60? Because in 1 hour there are 60 minutes. Now we go to 255. 255 is son las 3 menos 5. Why is that so? Because we add one number to 2. 2 plus 1 is 3, so therefore we write son las 3. Son las 3 means it is 3 o'clock, but it is not 3 o'clock exactly. It is 2:55. That's why we say it is 3 minus 5 minutes. How did we get 5 minutes? We do 60 minus 55 and that is 5. Why did we minus it by 60? That is because in 1 hour there are 60 minutes. Now let's see what the green box is saying. What if a person has a time of 12? What can you say? In that case you can say it is 12 o'clock. Las 12 en punto. El mediodía means the noon. La medianoche means midnight. And here on the right hand side, otras expresiones means other expressions. Again, de la mañana means in the morning. This is said till the afternoon. So when it's 11:30, you will use de la mañana. So if you want to say it is 11:30 a.m., you will say son las 11:30 de la mañana. Because it is before 12, it is before noon, so we will use de la mañana. What if we're using de la tarde? What do we do then? We say, for example, son las 3 de la tarde. It is 3 p.m. or it is 3 in the afternoon. This tarde, de la tarde word is used from the noon. Desde el mediodía means from the noon. Hasta la noche, till the night. De la noche, in the night or p.m. Cuando está oscuro means when it is dark. So we can say, for example, son las 9 de la noche. It is 9 p.m. or it is 9 in the night. It has started to get dark, that's why we'll say de la noche. Here are some sentences with time so that you see how this topic is used in sentences. The first sentence is, yo desayuno a las 8 de la mañana. Desayuno is coming from the verb desayunar, which means to have breakfast. It will be conjugated like any AR verb. Yo desayuno a las 8 de la mañana. I have breakfast at 8 a.m. The second sentence, tú cenas a las 8:30. Cenas is coming from the verb cenar, which means to have dinner. It will be conjugated like any AR verb. Tú cenas a las 8:30 means you have dinner at 8:30. Number 3. Nosotros estudiamos a las 5 de la tarde. We study at 5 p.m. Number 4. Ana corre en el parque a las 5:15. Ana runs in the park at 5:15. 5:15 means 5:15, and the word corre is coming from the verb correr, which means to run. It will have the conjugation of any ER verb. The fifth sentence, María y Antonia escuchan la radio a las 7:45. Maria and Antonia listen to the radio at 6:45. Here are some exercises for you to do. Please write the correct time and then we will go over the answers. Here are the answers to these exercises. 2 p.m.'s answer is son las 2 de la tarde. Make sure all your answers should have son las in all of them. PM means de la tarde and 2 o'clock means son las 2. Hence we say son las 2 de la tarde. We are writing de la tarde over here because PM is written in the question. And PM means de la tarde. The second question is 3:15. Son las 3:15. We say son las 3 because we want to say it is 3. And 15 will be a quarter. And a quarter is known as cuarto in Spanish. So we say son las 3:15. Letter C. 4:20. Son las 4:20. It is 4, so we say son las 4. And the second number is 20, so we say y 20. 5:30 will be known as son las 5:30. It is 5 past. It is half past 5, or it is 5:30. But since the word 30 does not exist in time, we instead use media. 6:35. Here we will use the adding and subtraction because this number is greater than 30. As I had said, whenever the longer hand of the clock strikes after 30, we will have to do addition and subtraction. So for 6:35, what we will do is we will add one number after 6. So it becomes 7. Hence we say son las 7, which means it is 7, but it is not exactly 7. So because the time is 6:35, so what we do is we take 60 minus 35. We do 60 minus 35 because in 1 hour there are 60 minutes. So 60 minus 35 would be 25. So we say son las 7 menos 25. This means it is 7 o'clock minus 25 minutes. 7:45. Again we do the same thing. We add one number with 7. It becomes 8. 7 plus 1 is 8. So we say son las 8. But it is not 8 o'clock. So we do 60 minus 45. It is 15 or a quarter. So we say son las 8 menos cuarto, which means it is 8 minus a quarter. Next, son las 8:05. It is 8:05. Son las 8:05. 9 o'clock. Son las 9 en punto. We can also write this as son las 9, but if you really want to be refined and you want to write the complete answer, you can always say it is 9 o'clock. And o'clock in Spanish means en punto. 10:55. Again, you will do the same thing. You will add 1 after 10. So you do 10 plus 1, it becomes 11. So we say son las 11, it is 11. Then we do 60 minus 55. And it is a 5, so we say son las 11 menos 5. With 11:05, we will say son las 11:05 de la mañana. So this is time. Please write some sentences using time on your own. The activity is to write at least 10 sentences and explain when you do these activities using time. For example, you can say things like yo estudio a las 3 de la tarde. This means I study at 3 in the afternoon. The second sentence you can write I have dinner at 9, for example. So you can say yo ceno a las 9 de la tarde. So you have the vocabulary, you have the verbs, so make 10 sentences using time with the vocabulary you know. We are now going to study about subjects and self-introduction. First, we are going to learn some vocabulary about subjects and practice their pronunciation. School subjects in Spanish is known as las asignaturas. Now let's practice the pronunciation of some subjects. The first one is las ciencias, which means science. La educación física, PE or physical education. The third subject is el español, Spanish. The N has a curly line on top, so we pronounce it as nia. El francés, French. El alemán, German. La geografía, geography. La historia, history. La informática, ICT or computers. El inglés, English. Las matemáticas, math. La música, music. La religión, R-E or religion. La tecnología, technology. El dibujo, el arte, art. Notice that J is pronounced as K. La biología, biology. La química, chemistry. QUI is pronounced as ki. La física, physics. El teatro, drama. El recreo, break. La hora de comer, lunch. El horario, timetable. Now that we know the vocabulary of subjects, we can create some sentences. Number 1. Yo estudio el español en mi escuela. I study Spanish in my school. Yo estudio means I study. El español, Spanish. En mi, in my. Escuela, school. So the translation of the whole thing is I study Spanish in my school. Number 2. Me gusta la historia. I like history. Me gusta means I like. History means historia. Since we just have one subject, historia, we say gusta. If it was two subjects like historias with an S, then we would have said gustan. Number 3. Me encanta la biología. I love biology. Me encanta means I love. Again, since biología is just one subject, we say me encanta. Number 4. No me gustan las matemáticas. I do not like maths. Since matemáticas has an S, that's why we say gustan. And mathematics is always considered a plural noun. Number 5. No me gusta la física. I do not like physics. When you want to say I do not like something, you will always say no first. You always write no first. Number 6. Odio las ciencias. I hate science. Odiar means to hate. Number 7. Detesto la química. I hate chemistry. Detestar means to hate. Please write 10 sentences by yourself and say which subjects you like and which subjects you don't like or hate. Use me gusta, me encanta, no me gusta, and odio and detesto in your sentences. Write 5 sentences on subjects you like and which ones you love, and 5 sentences on subjects you don't like and the subjects you hate. Now these are the two verbs odiar and detestar. Both mean to hate. As you can see, both are AR verbs, like they end in AR, hence they will have the conjugation of any other AR verb. You can say, for example, yo odio el inglés. It means I hate English. You can also say, yo detesto el francés, which means I hate French. Here is a small exercise for all of you to do. As you know, we had learned many greetings earlier. We had also learned how to say, what is my name, how old I am, where I am from, what is my parents' name, what is my favorite animal, and when is my birthday. We had learned all this in writing sentences, line by line. Now we are going to use all that information and put it in paragraph form. Let's see how this will work. For example, in the first one it says, Me llamo dash. It means my name is. Here you can write your name. The second sentence is, Yo tengo dash años. Here you write your age. I am this much years old. Yo vivo en dash con mi familia. This means I live in the dash you write where you live, with my family. You can say the name of the city, you can write casa, which means house, choice is yours. The next sentence is yo soy de dash. Yo soy de means I am from, and here you write wherever you're from. Yo estudio en dash en dash. This means you have to say I study in, write the name of the school, and the second dash you write in which class you study. You can say la clase seis. Seis is 6. You write 6 if you study in 6th grade. Es una escuela muy grande y bonita. It is a very big and a beautiful school. Mi padre se llama, my father's name is, and you dash, you write your father's name. Y mi madre se llama dash, and my mom's name is, in the dash you write your mom's name. Mi padre es dash. My father is, and you write whichever job your father is in, lawyer, doctor, etc. Mi madre es, you write the profession of your mother here. Mi padre trabaja en una oficina muy grande. My father works in a very big office. Mi número de teléfono es, here you write your telephone number in words. Mi animal favorito es, my favorite animal is, and then you write any name of an animal, for example, perro, which means dog, or gato, which means cat, or any other animal. Then you say a reason why you like that animal. You can say porque es muy, which means because it is very, and then you write 2 adjectives to describe that animal. For example, you can say gordo, which means fat. You can say bonito, which means beautiful, etc. Mi cumpleaños es el, my birthday is, and then in the first dash you write the number, and the second dash you write the month. For example, mi cumpleaños es el 10 de febrero. My birthday is on 10th of February. As you can see, here is the answer of all these exercises that I had given you just now. Please compare your answers. Now, again, we are ready to talk about ourselves. Please look at it very carefully, and then you will be done. As you can see, on the black writing are the Spanish sentences, and on the blue writing I have given you what to write here. So please fill it up, and then you will see you have written your self-introduction. You can go back to the previous exercises to help you. Now then, we will now learn how to write some sentences in the Spanish language. In order to write a sentence in Spanish, it's very important that we first learn how to conjugate a verb. In order to do that, you have to learn that there are 3 kinds of verbs in Spanish. One type of verb is an AR verb, other group is ER verbs, and the other third group is of the IR verbs. In order to conjugate this verb, first we will draw a table of 2 columns. We will divide the columns into subject pronouns and endings of AR ending verbs. First, we will learn the meanings of 6 to 10 subject pronouns. The first subject pronoun is yo, which means I. The second one is tú, which means you. But this you is informal in Spanish. This kind of you will use with your friends or someone who is younger to you. The third subject pronoun is él. The other one is ella, and the other one is usted. Él means he, ella means she, and usted means you, formal. We all know that in English we do not have different kinds of you. We will use the same you for both elders and for youngsters, but in Spanish we do have different kinds of you. One you is informal, and that is of tú, and the other one is the formal one, which is usted. Nosotros means we all, and vosotros means you all, informal, and it is used more in Spain. Ellos means they, masculine, used for boys only, or where there is a group that consists of both boys and girls. Ellas means they, feminine, used only for girls group. And ustedes means you all formal. It's used with Latin America. Now we need to know endings of AR verbs. Whenever we have an AR ending verb, we omit the last two letters and we will add these endings. We will add O for yo after omitting the AR. We will write AS for tú after omitting AR. For ella usted, we'll be writing A after omitting AR. For nosotros, we will write AMOS after omitting the AR. For vosotros, we will write AIS, accent on the A, after omitting the AR. And for ellos, ellas, ustedes, we will write AN after omitting the AR. Now let's see how to conjugate an AR verb. As you can see, we have drawn a table of 3 columns over here. In the first column, we have written our subject pronouns, which are yo, tú, él, ella, usted, etc. And in the second column, we have written an AR verb, which is hablar, and this verb means to speak. This verb is an AR verb because it is ending in AR. The third column is the translation of the conjugation of the verb hablar. Now, according to the rules, we will omit the AR of hablar and write an O for you. All the endings of the verb hablar have been written in green and they have been underlined also. We will write an O over here because according to the rules for AR verbs, for yo, we write an O after omitting the AR. Yo hablo means I speak. We can make a sentence and say something like yo hablo el español, which means I speak English. The next conjugation will be tú hablas. Why are we writing AS over here? Because according to the rules for AR verbs conjugations, we omit the AR of the verb and write an AS. And AS is the ending for tú for AR verbs. So, tú hablas means you speak informal. We can say something like tú hablas el inglés. It means you speak English. Inglés means English. The next conjugation will be él, ella, usted habla. Él habla means he speaks, ella habla means she speaks, and usted habla means you speak formal. Él habla would mean he speaks. We can write a sentence of él habla el Hindi or él habla el japonés. Él habla el Hindi means he speaks Hindi. Él habla el japonés means he speaks Japanese. Nosotros hablamos. This means we all speak. We are writing the ending of AMOS over here because as we had learned earlier, the ending for AR verbs for nosotros is AMOS. We omit the AR of a verb and write AMOS. In this case for hablar, we have omitted the AR and we have written AMOS for nosotros. For vosotros, we would write habláis. This means you all speak. Informal. For ellos, ellas, ustedes, the conjugation of hablar would be hablan. How did we get hablan? That is because we had learned earlier that for AR verbs, we will omit the AR in the end of the verb and write AN for ellos, ellas, ustedes. So, ellos hablan means they speak masculine, ellas hablan means they speak feminine, and ustedes hablan means you all speak formal. Please revise this conjugation properly. We will write the same endings for all the other AR ending verbs. Here are some more verbs that end in AR in Spanish. Let's go over them. Trabajar means to work. We are saying trabajar over here because J has the pronunciation of K in Spanish. The next verb is cotillear. This verb is to gossip. Salvar means to save a person. Caminar means to walk. Cantar means to sing. Mandar means to order or to send. Ganar means to win or to earn. Nadar to swim. Charlar to chat. Grabar to record. Andar to walk. Comprar means to buy. Chismear means to gossip. Patinar means to skate, and dibujar means to draw. What you should do right now is, just like we had conjugated the verb hablar, which means to sing earlier, you should conjugate all these AR ending verbs in a notebook. You should also write the translation of all the conjugations. What is a conjugation? A conjugation is when you say, for example, if you have to conjugate the verb hablar like we did earlier, it means to break it into pieces. So we said, yo hablo, which means I speak, tú hablas, which means you speak. The same thing you need to do for these verbs. What do you need to do? Let's look at an example over here. You need to draw a table for all these verbs, and you need to divide this table with 3 columns. The first column will be of subject pronouns, the second column will be of the verb you have to conjugate, and the third column will be of the translation of the conjugation. So we will write down all our subject pronouns in the first column, that is yo, tú, él, ella, usted, etc. And then you will, in the second column, you will conjugate the verb trabajar in this case. So you omit the AR of the verb trabajar and you will write all the endings that we had learned earlier for AR ending verbs. All the endings have been underlined and have been written in green. In this verb, in this conjugation, we have omitted AR and we have written O for yo. Yo trabajo means I work. For tú, we have omitted the AR and written trabajas because the ending for tú was AS. For él, ella, usted, we write trabaja, which means he works, she works, you work. For nosotros, we write trabajamos, which means we work. For vosotros, we will write trabajáis, which means you all work. And for ellos, ellas, ustedes, we write trabajan, which means they work masculine, they work feminine, and you all work formal. Here is a small exercise for all of you to do. It says fill in the blanks with the correct conjugation of the verb. After the conjugation of those verbs that I had given you, this exercise must be quite easy for all of you. Let's look at the first question. The first question is, tú dash hablar muy bien el español. Here, the answer would be hablas. As we had learned earlier, for AR ending verbs, the ending for tú is AS after omitting the AR. That's why the answer over here is tú hablas. Tú hablas muy bien el español means you speak Spanish very well. Now we will do the remaining exercises. Please write the answers in the blanks and then we will go over all the answers. In question 2, you have to conjugate the AR ending verbs such as amar, which means to love, and enseñar, which means to teach. You should draw a table, divide it in 3 columns, and then write the conjugation. In the first column, please write the subject pronouns. In the second column, write the conjugation of the verb, for example, amar, and then write the translation of the conjugation. Then do the same thing for enseñar. Please do this assignment and then we will go over the answers. The letters written in red are the answers, and let's go over the answers. The second question's answer is trabaja. Ana trabaja en un hospital. We are writing trabaja over here because for Ana, it's the name of a girl and it is a she. It is ella. She means ella in Spanish. So the correct answer will be trabaja because the ella conjugation of trabajar is trabaja. Maria y Antonia cantan is the correct answer. That is because Maria and Antonia are two people. Two people mean it's they, the subject pronoun is they, and they in Spanish is ellas. Both are girls, so the subject pronoun over here is ellas. So we will write cantan over here because the conjugation for ellas for AR verbs is, for the verb cantar would be cantan. Next is ella chismea. Los niños lloran. Llorar means to cry. We are writing lloran over here because los niños means the children and it is they. In this case, it will be masculine they. And masculine they in Spanish is ellos, and the conjugation for ellos for llorar will be lloran. For los estudiantes charlan, we are writing charlan because los estudiantes is ellos. Correct answer will be charlan because the conjugation for ellos will be charlan for charlar. The next conjugation answer will be nada. La gente nada. La gente in Spanish means the people. La gente is also considered third person and it will be related to the subject pronoun of ella. And nadar's conjugation for ella will be nada. Ustedes mandan is the correct answer. Nosotros compramos. Yo camino. Now let's look at the translation of these sentences. Ana trabaja en un hospital means Ana works in a hospital. Hospital is considered to be a masculine noun in Spanish. María y Antonia cantan en la casa. María and Antonia sing in the house. Ella chismea en la escuela. She gossips in the school. Escuela means school. Los niños lloran en la casa. The children cry in the house. Los estudiantes charlan en la clase. The students chat in the class. Clase is considered to be a feminine noun. La gente nada en la playa. The people swim in the beach. Ustedes mandan una carta. You all send a letter. Nosotros compramos la ropa. We all buy clothes. En la tienda, in the shop. Yo camino en el parque. I walk in the park. Parque is considered to be a masculine noun. You can see that some of these nouns are not ending in O or A, but still we are taking them to be masculine or feminine. That's because we just have to learn. For example, parque is not ending in an O nor an A, but we still consider to be masculine. Why is that so? That is because we just need to learn all this. Let's go over all these verbs. We need to revise their meanings. Hablar means to speak. Trabajar means to work. Cantar means to sing. Chismear means to gossip. Llorar means to cry. Charlar means to chat. Nadar means to swim. Mandar means to send. Comprar, to buy. And finally, caminar, to walk. You can make sentences on your own with these verbs and translate them into English. This will help you improve your vocabulary and be more creative. Question 2, you have to conjugate the verbs amar and enseñar on a table. Here I have conjugated the verb amar, which means to love, according to the AR rules. You omit the AR and you will write the appropriate endings we had learned earlier for AR verbs. The second verb you need to conjugate is enseñar. You will do the same thing. You will omit the AR of enseñar and write the appropriate endings. The next group of verbs is ER ending verbs. Okay, we will go over the endings for ER verbs. For yo, we will omit the ER of a verb and write O. For tú, we will omit the ER of the verb and we will write ES. For él, él y usted, we will write E. For nosotros, we will write EMOS. For vosotros, we will write EIS, accent on the E. And for ellos, ellas, ustedes, we will write EN. Let's look at the first example of an ER verb. We have beber over here. Beber, as you can see, is ending in ER. This verb means to drink. We are going to draw a table once again in order to conjugate this verb. We will divide it into 3 columns like we had done for hablar. For the first column, we will write our subject pronouns, yo, tú, etc. In the second column, we will write the conjugation of the verb beber, and in the third column, we will write the translation of the conjugation. According to the rule we had learned earlier, for conjugating the verbs that are ending in ER, we will omit the ER and write the following endings. As you can see, all the endings have been underlined and have been written in green. For yo, we will omit the ER of beber and write an O. Yo bebo means I drink. We are writing O over here because we have just learned this rule for ER verbs. Tu bebes means you drink. For el usted, the ending will be E. So we join it with bebe. We omit the ER and write E. El bebe means he drinks, ella bebe means she drinks, and usted bebe means you drink formal. For nosotros, we will attach EMOS. Nosotros bebemos means we drink. For vosotros, we will write bebéis. Vosotros bebéis means you all drink. Ellos, ellas, ustedes means beben. Ellos beben means they drink masculine. Ellas beben means they drink feminine. And ustedes beben means you all drink formal. Here is a list of other ER verbs that you can conjugate. Let's look at their meanings. Leer means to read, responder to respond, comprender to understand, comer to eat, vender to sell, creer to believe, correr to run, aprender to learn, and finally esconder means to hide. We have conjugated the verb comer over here. Again, I've drawn a table and written the conjugation of comer. It is just like the verb beber. It has been conjugated just like the verb beber. We omit the ER and write the endings for ER verbs. The translation, as you can see, is all written in the right-hand side. Yo como means I eat, tú comes means you eat, and etc. You might want to conjugate all these verbs in your notebook and also write sentences with all these verbs, at least one sentence per verb, and then translate all the sentences into English. We will now learn how to conjugate IR verbs. IR verbs is the third group and the last group of the verbs. As you can see, all the endings are written in the second column of the table for IR verbs. For yo, we will write an O after omitting the IR. For tú, we will write an ES after omitting the IR. For el, ella, usted, we will write E. For nosotros, we will write IMOS. For vosotros, we write IS. And for ellos, ellas, ustedes, we will write EN. We are going to use the endings of IR verbs we had learned earlier, and we're going to apply these to the verb escribir, that is ending in IR. Escribir means to write. Its conjugation is the following. Yo escribo means I write. Tú escribes, you write. El, ella, usted escribe means he writes, she writes, you write. Nosotros escribimos means we write. Vosotros escribís means you all write. Ellos, ellas, ustedes escriben means they write masculine, they write feminine, and you all write formal. Here are some examples of IR verbs. Let's look at their meanings. Recibir means to receive, permitir to permit, abrir to open, cubrir to cover, describir to discover, imprimir to print, prohibir to prohibit, aplaudir to applaud, descubrir to discover, decidir to decide, subir to climb, insistir to insist. For example, you can conjugate the verb recibir. It's been shown in the table below. Again, I have divided the table in 3 columns, one of subject pronouns, other of the conjugation of recipe, and the third column consists of the translation of the conjugation. You will omit the IR of the verb and write down the appropriate endings for IR verbs. For example, here we have omitted the IR for yo and written O. For tu, we have omitted the IR and written ES and etc. Yo recibo means I receive, tu recibes means you receive. Here are some sentences that we can practice with. Sentences with hablar, which means to speak. In order to make sentences with the verb hablar, we will write any subject pronoun like yo, tu, él, ella, usted, conjugate the verb appropriately according to that subject, and then write the sentence. The first sentence we have written is yo hablo el español. This means I speak Spanish. As we all know, we write hablo for hablar for yo. We have written hablo. Number 2. Tú hablas con tu madre. You speak with your mother. As you know, for tú, the conjugation of hablar is hablas. That's why I have written tú hablas con tu madre. You speak with your mother. The third sentence is él habla en la clase. This means he speaks in the class. Number 4. Ella habla con su madre. She speaks with her mother. Again, the conjugation of hablar in ella form is habla. Therefore, we have written ella habla, which means she speaks. Number 5. Usted habla en el jardín. You speak in the garden. Again, hablar's conjugation for usted is habla. Number 6. Nosotros hablamos en voz alta. We speak in a loud voice. Voz alta means loud voice. Number 7. Vosotros habláis con amigos. You all speak with friends. Number 8. Ellos hablan en la fiesta. They speak in the party. Again, the conjugation of hablar and ellos is habla. Fiesta means party. Number 9. Ellas hablan con la profesora. They speak with the teacher. Ustedes hablan el español en la clase de español. You all speak in Spanish in the Spanish class. Now what you can do is write similar sentences for these 2 verbs, comer and vivir, and translate them into English. Now we are going to learn how to describe a person in Spanish. Here is a big chart which teaches you how to describe someone's hair, how to describe someone's eyes, how to describe someone's height, physique, and whether they have beard, mustache, or they wear glasses, etc. In Spanish, hair is called el pelo. We have different ways of saying what kind of hair someone has. For example, we can say this person has straight hair, curly hair, wavy hair, etc. As you know, el means he, ella means she in Spanish. And tiene means he has or she has. And I just told you that pelo means hair. And as you can see on this table under el pelo, it's written liso, which means straight. So if you want to say he has straight hair, how will we say? We will say él tiene el pelo liso. This actually means, in the literal translation, he has hair straight. But the actual meaning is he has straight hair. Okay. We're writing the word liso after pelo because in Spanish, the adjective always comes after the noun. So in this case, adjective is liso and the noun is el pelo. Okay. If we want to say she has straight hair, it will be ella tiene el pelo liso. She has straight hair. Now, the word curly in Spanish is rizado, which means curly. Again, the Z will be pronounced as th or so. So you can either say rizado or rizado. If I want to say, for example, she has curly hair, I will say ella tiene el pelo rizado. She has curly hair. How about if we want to say she has wavy hair? We will say ella tiene el pelo ondulado. Next question will be ella tiene el pelo largo, which means she has long hair. Ella tiene el pelo corto. She has short hair. Él es calvo. He is bald. As you know, es means he is or she is. So in this case, es calvo means he is bald. If we want to say that he has gray hair or she has gray hair, we will say él tiene canas or ella tiene canas. Now, let's look at the second column. The second column describes someone's eyes. Los ojos means the eyes. Here we use the plural form of ojo because a person has two eyes. If a person just had one eye, we would have said el ojo, which means the eye. Now, there are different ways of explaining someone's eyes. We can explain their eyes with colors. For example, we can say ella tiene los ojos negros. The literal translation of this is she has the eyes black. But it actually means she has black eyes. The reason we are saying negros and not negro is because a person has two eyes. And as you know, adjectives in Spanish always change according to the noun. Now, if the noun is masculine and plural, hence the adjective will also change into masculine and plural. If the word for eyes was hojas, then we would have said negras, because in this case hojas would be feminine and plural. But since this word is masculine and plural, we will change it into negros. Second word is azules. This means blue. The main word here is azul, but since ojos again it's plural, we will change it into azules. Los ojos. So we want to say he has blue eyes. We will say él tiene los ojos azules. He has blue eyes. The original word was azul. We changed it into plural, so it becomes azules. Now, the third one. The third color is verdes. It's actually verde, but it has been changed into verdes. So we will say ella tiene los ojos verdes. It means she has green eyes. Él tiene los ojos marrones. He has brown eyes. The original word was actually marrón, which means brown. But since ojos is plural, hence the adjective also changes into plural, into marrones. Next, claro. The word claro means blue or clear. We change it into plural, it becomes claros. So we can say ella tiene los ojos claros. She has blue eyes or she has clear eyes. Next one, grande means big, but since it's los ojos, we say grandes. We can say él tiene los ojos grandes. He has big eyes. Next word is pequeño. It means small, but since we are talking about eyes, which is plural in Spanish language as ojos, we will say pequeños. We can say ella tiene los ojos pequeños. She has small eyes. Now we are going to describe a person's height. For example, when we say he is tall, she is tall, or he is short, she is short, or he is of medium height, or she is of medium height, we are explaining somebody's height. This is quite an easy sentence. In order to say he is tall, we will simply say él es alto. We are writing alto because we are talking about a boy. If we are talking about a girl, we will say alta. If we want to say he is short or she is short, we will say él es bajo or ella es baja. If we're talking about a she, we will change the adjective into baja. Both the words bajo and baja mean short. Also remember that J has the pronunciation of her. The third word is de estatura mediana, which means of medium height. So if you want to say he is of medium height, we will say él es de estatura mediana, because él means he, es means is, and then we just add this remaining phrase, which is de estatura mediana, and the whole sentence will mean he is of medium height. Then we can describe a physique of somebody. We are here in the fourth column. We can say, for example, él es musculoso. Musculoso or musculosa means muscular. So if we want to say he is muscular, we say él es musculoso. If we want to say she is muscular, we will say ella es musculosa. We can also say a person is fat or thin. So if we want to say he is fat, we will say él es gordo. Él means he, es means is, and gordo we add él es gordo. If we want to say she is fat, we will say ella es gorda. If we want to say he is thin, again we will say él es gordo, él es delgado. And if we want to say she is thin, we will say ella es delgada. The fifth column consists of whether a person has a beard, a mustache, or a person wears glasses or sunglasses. The verb is llevar, which means to carry or to have. So we generally use the verb llevar if we want to say a person has a beard or a mustache. So if we want to say he has a beard, what will we say in Spanish? We will say él lleva una barba. It means he has a beard. Okay, if we want to say he has a mustache, what will we say? We will say él lleva un bigote. He has a mustache. If we want to say he wears glasses, we will say él lleva gafas. And if we want to say she wears glasses, we will say ella lleva gafas. The word gafas in Spanish means glasses. The next word, anteojos, means glasses also. Sunglasses means gafas de sol. It actually means glasses of sun, so sunglasses. So if we want to say he wears sunglasses, we will say él lleva gafas de sol. If we want to say she is wearing sunglasses or she wears sunglasses, we will say ella lleva gafas de sol. The verb llevar, as you can see, is an AR verb. It will have the conjugation of all the AR verbs. For example, you omit AR and write the endings of AR verb. So llevar's conjugation will be yo llevo, tú llevas, él, ella, usted lleva, nosotros llevamos, vosotros lleváis, and ellos, ellas, ustedes llevan. Remember that llevar means to carry or to wear, or it also means to have. Here are some sentences to describe a person. If you want to describe a person, for example, your friend, you first obviously start with what is their name, and then you describe their hair. Give description of their hair, their eyes, their physical physique, and whether they wear glasses or not. Then you can also describe the personality of a person. For example, we have learned many adjectives earlier like kind, fat, thin, intelligent, studious. So you use all those adjectives and bring them into play over here. You also describe a person's birthday, where are they from, and which school they study in, which class they study in, etc. So let's look at the first sentence. It says, she has wavy and beautiful hair. How do we say that? We say, ella tiene el pelo ondulado, reluciente y bonito. As you can see, all the adjectives I have brought here, ondulado meant wavy. Reluciente is a new adjective. You can remember it means shiny. Bonito means beautiful. So she has wavy, shiny, and beautiful hair. The third sentence is saying, Ella tiene los ojos marrones y grandes. Again, this sentence is describing the color of the eyes and obviously the shape of the eyes. It is brown and big. All these words are coming from this video, okay, that we just did right now in the lecture. Again, marrones is not singular because ojos is plural. Same goes for grandes. It is not plural because ojos is plural. Okay, so we say, Ella tiene los ojos marrones y grandes. Both the words are plural because ojos is plural. Then we describe someone's physique. We are saying she is tall and thin. Then we say she wears glasses. Ella lleva gafas. Then we are describing her personality with 7 adjectives. We are saying ella es simpática, servicial, leal, juguetón, inteligente, estudiosa, tranquila. Okay. This means she is kind, helpful, loyal, playful, intelligent, studious, and calm. Remember that the words that end in consonant, adjectives that end in consonant will not change into a because it's a rule. But adjectives that are ending in O, they will change into A for feminine. And when you say a birthday or somebody, you will say, El cumpleaños de mi amiga es 20 de enero. My friend's birthday is on 20th of January. If we want to say where a person is from, you will say, Ella es de la India, which means she is from India. And if you want to say he is from India, you will say, Él es de la India. Remember that es means is and de means of or from. Then you can also say where they live. So you can say Ella vive en Nueva Delhi, which means she lives in New Delhi. Then you can also say in which school somebody studies in. You can say Ella estudia en la escuela Marymount School. Also describe where they study. You can say Ella estudia en la clase 6. She studies in class 6. Then obviously you can write what is their mother's name, what is their father's name, etc. Then you say that she lives in a big and a beautiful house. You tell their phone number, what is their favorite animal. For example, su animal favorito es gato porque es juguetón. Her favorite animal is cat because it is playful. You can add any animal here, perro, which means dog, or pez, which means fish, and then don't forget to describe it. Now you can write an own paragraph using the vocabulary that has given earlier in this lecture. Okay, you can use more sentences than what I have explained to you. So just go back and revise, and then just bring all the knowledge that you have learned into play over here. Now then, we're going to do colors now. We're going to learn different kinds of vocabulary for colors. Here are different kinds of colors in the Spanish language. Just like other adjectives, all these colors also have endings of O and A. If we're talking about a masculine noun, we will end the color with an O, and if we're talking about a feminine noun, we will end the color with an A. First, let's practice the pronunciation. Negro means black. Negra also means black. Blanco, white. Blanca, white. Amarillo, yellow. Amarilla, yellow. Rojo, red. Roja, red. The J's pronunciation will be h, a soft k. That's why we say rojo and not rojo. Rosado, pink. Rosada, pink. Anaranjado, orange. Anaranjada, orange. In this word, again we have a J, that's why we have pronounced it with the K. Dorado, golden. Dorada, golden. Morado, purple. Morada, purple. Plateado, silver. Plateada, silver. Now we can make sentences with these words. The first sentence says, El sol es amarillo. El sol means sun, and es means is, amarillo means yellow. Most of us would be thinking, why are we ending the word amarillo, which means yellow, with an O? That is because the word el sol is masculine. How do we know is it masculine? The word sol is not ending with an O. Some words in Spanish you just have to memorize by heart, which ones are masculine and which ones are ending. For example, over here, sol is carrying with itself the article el, a masculine article. That's why this word is masculine. Since sol is a masculine word, amarillo will also have to be in masculine. Hence, we are ending it with an O. If this word was feminine, for example, sola, la sola, then we would have ended this word amarillo with amarilla. It would have not been amarillo that way. We would have said la sola es amarilla. But since this word is masculine, we are ending the word with amarillo. We are ending it with an O. The second word, la flor es roja. The flower is red. Again, flor is a feminine word. We just have to learn that flor is feminine because it does not carry any ending with it. It is not ending in an A. So we just have to learn by heart that flor is a feminine word. Since flor is a feminine word, rojo will also have to end in A. We will not say rojo with flor, we will say roja because flor is a feminine word. If we say la flor es rojo, it will be a grammar mistake for all of us. So we have to say la flor es roja, the flower is red. We can also say some other sentences like we want to say the cat is black. Cat in Spanish is gato, and we all know this is masculine word because it is ending in an O. So we say el gato es negro. Notice that over here we have ended the negro word with an O and not A because it is a masculine noun. Cat is a masculine noun. Hence we say el gato es negro. How about if the cat was a female? We would have said la gata es negra. Because the word over here, gato, is feminine now, la gata, the color will also change into A. So we say la gata es negra. The cat is black. You can make your own sentences right now with animals and colors by yourself. Use only these colors. Write them in Spanish and translate all these colors. Here are some more colors over here. These colors do not end in O. Let's practice the pronunciation first. Azul, blue. Gris, gray. Rosa, pink. Naranja, orange. Violeta, violet. Púrpura, purple. Marrón, brown. Verde, green. Unlike the previous colors you have just learned, these colors do not change according to the gender of the noun. They do change, however, according to the number of the noun. Even if the noun is masculine, for example, the color blue, which is azul, will not change into azulo. And if the noun is feminine, the azul word will not change into azula. It will remain the same throughout. Same goes for the word gris. It will not change into griso if the noun is masculine, and it will not change into grisa if the noun is feminine. These colors from azul to verde are very different compared to the colors you just learned earlier, such as negro, which changes into negra, blanco, which changes into blanca, etc. Let's look at some examples. The first example is El cielo es azul. El cielo means the sky, and as you can see, since this word is ending in an O, this word is masculine. However, the color azul has not been changed into O. Why does that happen? There is no explanation to this. You just have to memorize all this. El cielo es azul means the sky is blue. It will not change into masculine. The word azul will not change into masculine. It will remain as it is. Even if the word cielo was feminine, for example, if it was ciela, la ciela it would have still been La ciela es azul, because the word azul will not change into masculine, it will not change into feminine. It will be as it is. Let's look at the other noun. La hierba es verde. The grass is green. La hierba means grass. Here, the word hierba is a feminine noun, but the color verde has not been changed into feminine. It remains as it is. It will not become verda just because hierba is feminine. Sentence 3. Los lápices son grises. The pencils are gray. If you remember, el lápiz means the pencil. Lápices is the plural of lápiz, where we omit the Z of the lápiz and add CES. This happens for all the nouns that end in Z in the end. We omit the Z and write CES in order to change it into plural. Now, this sentence shows that the color changes into plural. What do we do in order to change the color into plural? Well, if the color is ending in a consonant, and in this case it is ending in a S, we simply write ES to make it plural. Gris is ending in a consonant S. In order to make it plural, we write ES. Why are we writing the plural grises? That is because lápices is in plural form. So we say los lápices son grises, which means the pencils are gray. The literal translation of this is actually the pencils are grays. But in Spanish, each and every adjective needs to be changed into plural if the noun is also written in plural form. So, a little recapitulation of this is there are some colors in Spanish language which have masculine and feminine endings, such as negro, which changes into negra, rojo, which changes into roja, amarillo, which changes into amarilla, and etc. These colors will change according to the gender of the noun. If the gender of the noun is masculine, the color will be masculine. If the gender of the noun is feminine, the color of the noun will also be feminine. Then, there are also some other colors that do not have any endings of O or A. These are azul, gris, rosa, naranja, etc. These colors will remain as they are. They will not change according to the gender of the noun. However, they will change according to the number of the noun. We can look at the other other color, which is violeta. It means purple. If we say, for example, el gato es violeta, which means the cat is violet, notice that even when the noun gato is masculine, we are not changing violeta into O. We are keeping it ended with A. The cat is violet. El gato es violeta. However, if we wanted to say the cats are violet, then we would have said los gatos son violetas. Please write about 5 to 10 sentences using only these colors from azul to verde and then translate them into English. We will learn a new verb right now. It is called the verb estar, prepositions of location. These prepositions of locations mean on the left, under, on top of, on the right hand side, behind, opposite, etc. So this lecture is mainly about a new verb and how to locate an object. Now we had learned earlier a verb ser, which means to be, and just like ser, the verb estar also means to be. However, the verb ser was used to describe a quality of somebody, a nationality of somebody, professions, nature, origin, or a shape of something, and time. However, the verb estar is not used to describe these things. Verb estar is mainly used to describe a location of an object. For example, when we say the dog is on the table, we are describing the dog's location. We are telling the other person that the dog is sitting on the table. When we say the cat is under the table, again we are describing the cat's location, that it is sitting under the table. When we say the tree is in the park, again we are describing the location of a tree and we are saying that the tree is located in the park. The verb estar does exactly this thing. First, we will learn the conjugation of this verb. Let's see what is the conjugation of estar. The conjugation of estar is the following. Yo estoy, tú estás, él, ella, usted está, nosotros estamos, vosotros estáis, ellos, ellas, ustedes están. For yo, estar is irregular, but for the rest of the conjugation, it is normal. Estar is irregular in yo form because it is ending in a y. And the translation is written right beside the conjugation. For example, yo estoy means I am, tú estás means you are, and etc. Now let's make some sentences with these verbs. The first sentence is yo estoy en la biblioteca. Yo estoy means I am, and en la biblioteca means in the library. So we use estar with this because again I'm trying to locate myself. I cannot say yo estoy en la biblioteca and use the verb ser because ser verb is not used with location. It is only used to describe a person. For example, when we say you are Indian, you are from India, or we are all using the ser verb over here. But when we say things like you are in the library, you are in the park, or I am in the market, we are locating ourselves. So in these kinds of sentences, we will use the verb estar. The third sentence says, La India está en Asia. India is in Asia. We use verb ser here because again, we are talking about a location or something. Why are we saying está with La India? Why not we say something like La India estoy, La India estamos? Why do we use only está? That is because La India is one object. It is ella, it is a she. So as you can see, the conjugation with ella is está. That's why we write La India está. What about the first two sentences? Why do we say yo estoy and not yo estás, yo estamos? Why do we say yo estoy? We say yo estoy because estoy word is written with yo. We are not saying yo estás because estás is written with tú. Hence, the only thing we can write over here is yo estoy. How about in tú estás? Why are we writing tú estás and not tú están, tú estáis, tú estoy? Why are we writing tú estás? That is because with tú, the estar's conjugation is estás. And what will be the meaning if we say something like tú estoy? You already know that estoy means I am. So if you say something like tú estoy, it will be a very big mistake and it will mean you I am. Because estoy means I am and tú means you. So if you say, for example, tú estoy en el parque, it means you I am in the park. So it is very wrong. You can say instead you and I are in the park. Okay? Now question 4. Los bolígrafos están en la mesa. The pens are on the table. Why are we saying something like los bolígrafos están? Why not we say something like los bolígrafos estoy? Why are we saying los bolígrafos están? We are saying because los bolígrafos, which means the pen, it is they. And they in Spanish is ellos. Hence we say están. Ellos conjugation for estar is están. That's why we say los bolígrafos están. Now here are the prepositions vocabulary. Okay, now let's practice the pronunciation for all these words. Delante de means in front of. Detrás de, behind. En, in. Dentro de means inside. A la izquierda means on the left. A la derecha means on the right. Enfrente de means opposite. Entre means between. Sobre means on. Encima de means above. Arriba means up. Al lado de means beside. Now using these prepositions, we can make some sentences for ourselves. With these prepositions, since they are prepositions of location, we have to use the verb estar. For example, I can say something like, Yo estoy en la clase. Yo estoy means I am. En from this table you can see means in, and la clase means the class. So when I say yo estoy en la clase, it means I am in the class. From here, let's look at the first sentence. We are saying el perro está debajo de la silla. This means the dog is under the chair. El perro means the dog. Está means is. Debajo de means under. La silla means chair. So the whole translation of this sentence is the dog is under the chair. And why are we saying el perro está? The reason we are saying está with el perro is because again el perro is a he. It is el, which means he in Spanish, and the conjugation of estar with el is está. The second question. La librería está al lado de la escuela. La librería means the bookshop. Está means is. Al lado de means beside. La escuela means the school. So again, la librería está al lado de la escuela means the bookshop is beside the school. Here are some more prepositions. Debajo de means below or under. Lejos de means far, and cerca de means near. Let's look at more sentences. El gato está debajo de la mesa. The cat is under the table. Number 2. El perro está a la izquierda del árbol. The dog is on the left side of the tree. El perro means the dog. Está means is. A la izquierda means on the left. And del árbol means of the tree. Here are some exercise for you to do. You have to translate these sentences into English. Take about 5 minutes to do this exercise and then we will go over the answers. Let's look at the first question. El gato está encima de la mesa. Now, the cat is on the table. If you can remember, el gato means cat, está means is, and encima de means on. And mesa means table. So hence the translation of this is the cat is on the table. Letter B. El perro gordo y bonito está detrás del árbol. The fat and beautiful dog is behind the tree. Okay, so we all know that el perro means the dog, gordo means fat, y means and, bonito means beautiful, and está means is, detrás de means behind, árbol means tree. So the whole translation of this question is, the fat and beautiful dog is behind the tree. Letter C. El mercado está delante del banco. The market is in front of the bank. Banco means bank. Question D. El jardín está detrás del garaje. This means the garden is behind the garage. Again, el jardín means the garden, está means is, detrás means behind, de means of, and garaje means garage. Hence, the translation of this sentence would be, the garden is behind the garage. Please make your own sentences, around 10 sentences, using the verb estar and a preposition, in order to revise the verb estar and prepositions. We're now going to study the verb gustar, which means to like. This chart shows how the verb gustar is conjugated. First of all, you need to know that even though gustar is an ea verb, it does not have the same conjugation as any other ea verb like hablar, for example. It has only 2 conjugations. Those are gusta and the other one is gustan. Let's look at the chart. We can say, for example, me gusta. You can see for singular nouns, it's been written me gusta. This means like, I like. I can only use me gusta when I have to talk about a singular noun. For example, if I want to say, I like chocolate, chocolate is one noun. So I will say, me gusta el chocolate, which means I like chocolate. If you just look at the Next one on the right hand side under plural noun, it says me gustan. This also means I like. Me gustan will be used when we talk about a plural noun. For example, I can say me gustan los chocolates. I like chocolates. Te gusta means you like. With te gusta also I will use with the singular noun. I can say, for example, te gusta el chocolate. You like chocolate. Similarly, when you look at the right hand side, it says te gustan. This can only be used with a plural noun. It means you like also. You can say, for example, te gustan los chocolates. You like chocolates. Again, chocolates is a plural word. That's why I use gustan with it. So basically, the whole idea is that gusta is used with a singular noun and gustan is used with a plural noun. You should also note that gusta is used with a verb. Gusta is used with a singular noun as well as a verb. For example, you can say, me gusta escribir. As you can see, escribir is a verb. So if I say, me gusta escribir, it means I like to write. Because escribir means to write. I cannot say, for example, me gustan escribir. That will be wrong. You can only use gustan with a noun, a plural noun, whereas gusta will only be used with a verb or a singular noun. Let's look at le gusta now. Le gusta has three meanings. He likes, she likes, and you formal like. Again, le gusta has three meanings. He likes, she likes, and you formal like. And le gusta once again will be used with a singular noun or a verb. For example, we can say, le gusta el pájaro. This means he likes a bird. You can also say, for example, le gusta dibujar. This means he likes to draw because dibujar means to draw. The next one. Next to it, it is written le gustan. Again, this means he likes, she likes, and you formal like. But the only difference between le gustan and le gusta is that le gustan will be used with a plural noun. It will not be used with a singular noun nor a verb. For example, we can say le gustan los pájaros. This means he likes birds or she likes birds or you formal like birds. So as we had said earlier, nos gusta means we like. Now, nos gustan. Nos gustan also means we like. And this is used with a plural word, as we had said earlier also. We can say, for example, nos gustan los caballos. We like horses. If I say something like nos gustan el caballo, it will be wrong. Os gusta means you like. You like, but will only be for plural you like. Because os gusta means all of you like. Os gusta, we can say, for example, os gusta el gato. This means you all like the cat. Os gusta ver el pájaro. You all like to see the bird. Again, I'm using the verb ver. I'm using a verb. Os gustan los serpientes. All of you like the snakes. Again, I'm using the plural noun, snake. The next one is les gusta. This means they masculine like, they feminine like, and you all like. I can say, for example, les gusta nadar. This means they masculine like to swim, they feminine like to swim, and you all like to swim. I can also say, for example, les gusta el chocolate, which again means they masculine like chocolate, they feminine like chocolate, and you all formal like chocolate. Les gustan, again I would say something like les gustan los serpientes. Again I'm saying the plural noun. They masculine like snakes, they feminine like snakes, and you all formal like snakes. Let's look at some examples underneath. I like the apple. You will say, me gusta la manzana. Because since manzana is a singular noun, we will use gusta with it. As soon as it becomes plural, like I like apples, I will say, me gustan las manzanas. She likes the egg. Le gusta el huevo. Again, huevo is a singular noun, so we use gusta with it. She likes eggs. Le gustan los huevos. Since now huevos has become plural, we use gustan. Now, what happens when we negate something? We don't like the onion. It means no nos gusta la cebolla. You will add the no before the reflexive pronoun. All these me, te, le, nos, os, les is the pronoun. No nos gusta la cebolla. The negation, the no word can only come before the pronouns. It cannot come in between anything. We don't like the onions. No nos gustan las cebollas. Since now cebolla word has become plural like cebollas, we will say gustan. Please translate these sentences into English. They're all using the verb gustar with them. Let's look at the first one. Me gustan los perros. This means I like the dogs. Again, perro is being changed into plural of perros. That's why we write gustan with this word. Let's look at the answers now. Letter B. Me gusta el chocolate. I like chocolate. Again, chocolate is singular. That's why we write gusta with it. Letter C. Me gusta leer. I like to read. Leer is a verb, so we use gusta with it. We cannot use gustan. Letter D. Te gusta estudiar en la escuela. You like to study in school. Now again, since estudiar is a verb, we will use es gusta with it. We cannot use gustan. Letter E. A él le gusta comer en un restaurante. He likes to eat in a restaurant. Again, comer is a verb, so we use gusta with it. Letter F. Nos gustan las flores bonitas. We like beautiful flowers. Now, flores means flowers and it is a plural noun, so we use gustan with it. We cannot use gusta. If there was one noun, for example, flor, which is a single flower, then I would have said nos gusta la flor, which means we like the flower. Letter G. Te gusta correr en el parque. You like to run in the park. Now, correr is a verb, so I use gusta with it. Letter H. Me gusta cantar. I like to sing. Cantar is a verb, so I've used gusta with it. Letter I. Me gustan los pájaros. I like birds. Letter J. A ella le gusta trabajar en la cocina. She likes to work in the office. Again, trabajar is a verb, so I only use gusta. So this is it. Please write your own 10 sentences on the verb gustar and then translate those sentences into English. You can write about what you like to eat and what you don't like to eat. We're now going to look at the parts of the body. Mi cuerpo means my body. Here you can see some drawings of the part of the body. Let's practice a pronunciation. La cabeza, head. El cuello, neck. El codo, the elbow. La mano, hand. Los dedos, fingers. One finger would be el dedo. La rodilla, knee. La cara, face. El hombro, shoulder. El brazo, arm. El vientre, belly. La pierna, leg. El pie, foot. Now let's look at the right hand drawing. El pelo, hair. La ceja, eyebrow. La mejilla, cheek. El dedo del medio, middle finger. El índice, index finger. El pulgar, thumb. El anular, annular. El meñique, pinky. La frente, forehead. El ojo, eye. La oreja, ear. La nariz, nose. La boca, mouth. El pulgar, big toe. So as you can see, pulgar has two meanings, thumb also and big toe of the foot also. Now more parts of the body in Spanish. La ceja, eyebrow. El ojo, eye. La oreja, ear. La nariz, nose. La boca, mouth. Los labios, lips. El hombro, shoulder. El cuello, neck. El pecho, chest. La barbilla, chin. La lengua, tongue. El diente, tooth. Lóbulo de oreja, earlobe. Un lunar is a spot or a beauty spot. La frente, forehead. El pelo, hair. Now let's look at the other drawing on the top right-hand corner of a hand. La mano, the hand. El dedo corazón is the middle finger. El dedo anular is a ring finger. El dedo meñique is a pinky finger or little finger. Palma de la mano is palm of the hand. El dedo índice, index finger. El nudillo is a knuckle. El dedo pulgar is a thumb. La muñeca, wrist. Now let's look at the vocabulary of the leg. La pierna means the leg. Muslo, thigh. Pantorrilla is a calf. Tobillo, ankle. Tacón, or rather talón, means a heel. Rodilla, knee. Canilla, shin bone. Empeine is a instep. Dedo del pie is a finger of the foot. Now here is an exercise for all of you to do. Translate these sentences into Spanish. We will do the first one together. Letter A. I have 2 eyes. I have means yo tengo, 2 means dos, eyes means ojos. It was just discussed earlier. So the translation of this will be yo tengo 2 ojos. Please take about 5-10 minutes. Do this exercise. You can refer to your notes and then we will discuss the answers. Here are the answers. Letter A we had already discussed. Now we will discuss letter B. I have black hair. Again, I have means yo tengo. Black hair means el pelo negro. So we say yo tengo el pelo negro. Letter C. She has a small nose. Ella tiene una nariz pequeña. Nariz means nose and pequeña means small. The reason we are writing feminine pequeña is because nariz is a feminine noun, and that is why we are also writing a feminine article of una. Una nariz pequeña, a small nose. Letter D. He has white teeth. Él tiene los dientes blancos. Blancos means white, and since teeth is masculine plural, los dientes as you can see, we will write blanco also in plural, blancos. And notice that the word blanco is also masculine plural. Letter E. They have small ears. Ellos tienen orejas pequeñas. Now same thing. Orejas is feminine plural word. That's why pequeñas has been changed into pequeñas because It is referring to orejas of feminine and plural noun. The dog has 2 ears. El perro tiene 2 orejas. The number will not change into plural. It's not becoming das. It will be as it is, 2 orejas. Letter G. She has beauty spot on her chin. Ella tiene un lunar en la barbilla. Letter H. Ana has pink cheese. Ana tiene mejillas rosas. Cheeks means mejillas. Letter I. Maria has red lips. Maria tiene los labios rojos. Again, labios is masculine plural, so that's why we've written rojos. It's an adjective, so we change it into masculine plural to match it with labios. You have a long neck. Tú tienes un cuello largo. She has an eraser in her palm. Ella tiene un borrador en su palma de la mano. Borrador was earlier taught in the classroom object section. Letter I. She has a small face. Él tiene una cara pequeña. Letter M. Carmen has long and black hair. Carmen tiene el pelo largo y negro. Please practice writing around 10 more sentences with parts of the body and verb tener. The next topic we're going to learn is la casa, which means house. Let's look at some Spanish vocabulary words for homes and rooms. Let's practice the pronunciation first. Casa, apartamento, comedor, this is a dining room, dormitorio, bedroom, cuarto de baño, bathroom. We can also call a bathroom with the word baño. Basement, sótano. Living room is living room in Spanish, or we can also call it el salón. Attic is ático. Kitchen is cocina. Let's look at some parts of the house in Spanish. Once again. Bedroom is cuarto de baño. Balcony, el balcón. Bedroom, el dormitorio. Ceiling, el techo. Chimney, la chimenea. Courtyard, el patio. Dining room, el comedor. Door, la puerta. Elevator, ascensor. Floor, el suelo. Garage, el garaje. Garden, el jardín. Hallway, pasillo. Kitchen, la cocina. Larder, la despensa. Living room is el salón. Roof is el tejado. Room is la habitación. Sitting room, la sala de estar. Stairs, la escalera. Study, el despacho. Terrace, la terraza. Toilet or a restroom is called el aseo or el servicio. The word el servicio is used more in restaurants or other public places. Wall means la pared. Window is la ventana. You must be thinking, what are these M and F in brackets? These are male and female words. So you can see that for chimenea, they have written F. Now this is because chimenea is a female word. For patio, M has been written. This means that patio is a male word. Now let's look at some floors of a building in Spanish. We will be looking at British English first. Basement is called el sótano. Ground floor is planta baja. First floor, el primer piso. Second floor, el segundo piso. Third floor is tercer piso. Fourth floor, cuarto piso. Fifth floor, quinto piso. Sixth floor, sexto piso. Seventh floor, séptimo piso. 8th floor, octavo piso. 9th floor, noveno piso. 10th floor, décimo piso. Attic, ático, terrace roof, azotea. We can say, for example, if we want to say, I live on the 3rd floor, you will say, yo vivo en el tercer piso, because yo vivo means I live, en means in. So, we will say, yo vivo en el tercer piso, which means I live on the 3rd floor. If we want to say she lives on the 8th floor, we will say, ella vive en el octavo piso. Ella vive means she lives, and en means in. Please make similar sentences with these words. How about if we want to say, my house has an attic? How about that? How will we say? So, my house means mi casa. Has will be tiene, and we use tiene because my house is 3rd person. So, we use tiene. My house has an attic. Mi casa tiene un ático. Here are some objects that are included in a room, rather a bedroom. First of all, a bedroom is called dormitorio. So first we have la cama, which means the bed. We have pillows, which means las almohadas. H will be silent. Nightstand or night table would be la mesita de noche. We are writing ITA with this word instead of A because it's a small table. So we write mesita. ITA is usually written to express that something is very small or cute. If it was a masculine word like meso, then we would have written ITO instead. Alarm clock would be el despertador. Bedsheet is la sabana. Mirror is el espejo. ESPEJO, el espejo. Wardrobe would be el armario. Lamp, la lámpara. Books, los libros. The desk is el escritorio. Rug or carpet is la alfombra. And la habitación means the room. Here are some sentences that we can use to describe our house. Number 1, we can say in the first sentence, it is mi casa está en. This means my house is in. Again, we are locating the house, so we will use the verb estar in this case, because as you remember, verb estar is used to locate something, and here we are rightly telling the location of our house. And we use está with casa because casa is a 3rd person, and estar's conjugation in 3rd person is está. Está means is. Yo estoy, I am. Tú estás, you are. Ella está, she is, or it is. Las afueras means the outskirts. El centro de la ciudad means in the center of the city. We can easily say mi casa está en las afueras. My house is in the outskirts. Or we can say mi casa está en el centro de la ciudad. This means my house is in the center of the city. Let's look at question 2. Mi casa es, my house is, and then here are 4 or 5 adjectives that you can describe our house with. Obviously, you can use other adjectives to describe your house. But the most common ones are moderna, which means modern, antigua, which means old, grande, which means big, bonita, which means beautiful, and pequeña, which means small. We can easily write a sentence using these words to describe our house. For example, we can say, Mi casa es moderna. My house is modern. Here is a small exercise for all of you to do. These are exercises of translation. Now, let's translate the first question. It says, Mi casa tiene un jardín. If you remember, jardín means garden. And mi casa means my house. And tiene means has. Mi casa tiene un jardín means my house has a garden. So you will write this sentence just beside this question. Please do the remaining exercise. I would like to go over some other new words. Granja means farm. It's written in the B sentence, letter B sentence. And you had also learned earlier that piso means floor. I would like to tell you that piso also means apartment, and you may want to write this meaning down. Apart from floor, piso also means an apartment. So when you say something like, Yo vivo en un piso, this means I live in an apartment. And another word for floors is plantas. Plantas also means plants, but it also means floors. In letter G, ascensor means elevator. Please do the remaining exercise. Please try to translate all these sentences into English. Here are the translations of this exercise. Letter B. Mi amigo vive en una granja. This means my friend lives in a farm. We are writing vive with mi amigo because again mi amigo is a third person. It means my friend. And since it is ending in an O, that means male friend. Okay, my friend. So this is third person. And since this is a boy, this means it's a he, and he in Spanish is él. Él is the third person in Spanish. So, and the third person conjugation of the verb vivir will be vive. Hence, we have written vive here. Mi amigo vive en una granja means my friend lives in a farm. Letter C. Mi piso tiene una cocina y 3 dormitorios. My apartment has a kitchen and 3 bedrooms. Cocina means a kitchen. Letter D. En mi casa hay un salón y un comedor. In my house there is a living room and a dining room. Letter E. Mi casa está en la segunda planta. My house is on the second floor. Again, we are trying to locate something. We are trying to locate my house over here. So we use está instead of S. Many people would have the tendency to write S instead, but it's not right because S is coming from the verb ser, and ser, as you had learned earlier also, is only used to describe a quality of something. It is used to describe someone's occupation, someone's nature, and etc. For location, we always use the verb estar. Letter G. En mi piso hay un ascensor. In my apartment, there is an elevator. Letter H. Vivo en mi casa con mis padres. I live in my house with my parents. Letter I. Mi piso es de los 5 plantas. My apartment is of 5 floors. En la primera planta vive mi amigo José. Jose, my friend, lives on the first floor. You can also now write about your house. You can describe your house properly using these questions to help you. Let's answer these questions first, and then you can write a paragraph on the topic my house, where you can describe where your house is located, how many floors there are. You can describe it with adjectives. You can describe how many rooms it has, and etc. Let's look at the first question. The first question is, ¿Dónde está tu casa? This sentence means, where is your house? Donde means where. You can answer these questions in a variety of ways. If someone asks you, where is your house? You will say, for example, my house is in the outskirts. You've already learned how to say outskirts. It means las afueras. So if you say something like, my house is in the outskirts, you will say mi casa first because mi casa means my house. Is, you will say está. So now you have written mi casa está in the outskirts, en las afueras. Mi casa está en las afueras. How about if your house is in the center of the city? What will you say then? Then you will say, mi casa está en el centro de la ciudad. And we have learned all these words earlier. Question 3. ¿Cuántos dormitorios hay en tu casa? ¿Cuántos means how many? How many bedrooms are there in your house? Dormitorios means bedrooms. And you also know that hay means there is or there are. So this question actually means how many bedrooms are there in your house? You can say, en mi casa, in my house, en mi casa hay 4 dormitorios. In my house there are 4 bedrooms. Question 4. ¿Cuáles habitaciones hay en tu casa? Which rooms are there in your house? Now here you can name everything that is included in your house. You can say something like, for example, my house, or in my house there is a kitchen, bedrooms, you can say living room, dining room, bathroom, and etc. So how will you frame this answer in Spanish? You will say, in my house means in my house, because en means in, mi means my, and casa means house. So in my house, en mi casa, there is means I in Spanish. And then you can write the list of as many rooms as you can. You can say, en mi casa hay una cocina, which means in my house there is a kitchen. Hay un cuarto de baño, un salón, which means living room, un comedor, which means dining room, dormitorios, bedrooms, etc. You can write names of as many rooms as you can. And please remember, nothing has to be true, because in languages we are not grading anyone for truth. You just have to write as much vocabulary as you can and be as creative as you can. Question 5 says, ¿Cómo es tu casa? ¿Cómo means how. How is your house? Here you will describe your house with adjectives you had learned. For example, modern, big, old, etc. So you can say, mi casa es muy grande y bonita. This means my house is very big and beautiful. Or you can say, mi casa es moderna, or mi casa es antigua, which means my house is old, or mi casa es pequeña, which means my house is small. Anything you want to say. Question 6. ¿Te gusta tu casa? ¿Por qué? The question is, do you like your house? Why? You can say things like, yes, I like my house. Sí, me gusta mi casa. This means, yes, I like my house. Porque es bonita, because it is beautiful. Here you can write more adjectives than bonito or bonita. We write bonita because casa is a female word. We cannot write bonito. If it was caso, then you would have written bonito. But the word is casa, so you have to write bonita. Please use these questions to write a paragraph about the topic, my house. Use as much vocabulary as you can and be creative. We're now going to study irregular verbs in Spanish. As you know, earlier we had learned different kinds of conjugations of verbs, but we had learned regular verbs earlier. Now we are going to learn irregular verbs. They are also known as stem-changing verbs. and they are also very easy to conjugate. We need to know that there are three kinds of irregular verbs or stem changing verbs. One is E to IE, the other one is O to UE, and the third group is E to I. Let's see how we conjugate these verbs. We're going to take one verb such as comenzar. As you can see, comenzar means to start, plus it is an AR verb. Now, apart from this, it is also a stem changing verb. Here's how. Comenzar. How do we know it is an stem changing verb? Well, we just need to memorize it. This comenzar verb has a stem changing. Its stem changing is that its E changes into IE. When we conjugate this verb, instead of writing E, we will write an IE because this is what the rule suggests. Let's look at this table. We have written the subject pronouns and comenzar, and beside it we have written its stem change. Comenzar is also an AR verb. When we conjugate it, we have all the AR endings. For example, we write O for yo, we write AS for tú, we write A for él, él y usted, we write AMOS for nosotros, we write AIS for vosotros, and we write AN for ellos, ellas, ustedes. How did we get that? We got that from the AR endings we had learned earlier when we were conjugating AR verbs. When we conjugate this verb, instead of writing the E, we write IE instead, because that's what the rule suggests. We write IE everywhere except nosotros and vosotros. Nosotros and vosotros will not have any stem change. Let's look at another verb, empezar. Empezar also means to start. As you can see, this E, the second one, changes into IE. When a verb has two E's, for example, the beginning one and then the middle one will always change into IE. Let's see how the conjugation of this verb will happen. Now, here you can see the table. Just like comenzar, we will conjugate empezar. Empezar is an AR verb, so it will have all the endings of AR verbs in the end. Another thing we have to remember that its E changes into IE. So we do yo empiezo. Instead of writing the E, we write an IE, and the stem changes have been written all in red. And nosotros vosotros will not have any stem change. This is true for all the stem changing verbs. We can now learn how to make sentences with these new irregular verbs, comenzar and empezar. Please remember that both are E to IE verbs. Let's look at the first sentence. Yo comienzo mi clase de español. I start my Spanish class. Yo comienzo means I start. Mi clase means my class. De español of Spanish. I start my class of Spanish or I start my Spanish class. Number 2. La escuela comienza a las 8 de la mañana. School starts at 8 a.m. Number 3. La profesora empieza la lección. The teacher starts the lesson. And we are using the third person conjugation on number 2 and number 3 of the verbs because la escuela is a feminine noun. So we use the ella conjugation. And number 3, la profesora is also a third person. It's a she. And ella is she in Spanish. So we use the third person conjugation. Please conjugate these 4 new E to IE verbs in your notebook. And we will go over the answer. For the verb preferir, the second E will change into IE. Please remember that for nosotros, vosotros, we have no stem change. You can look at the notes to help you. Here are the answers. Notice that the stem changes have all been written in red. Notice that in nosotros, vosotros, there is no stem change. Here are more E to IE verbs. Here are the answers. Notice that the E's have been changed into IE. Let's look at the verb entender. Entender, as you can see, has 3 E's. But as I had told you earlier, when there is more than one E, we always change the second E, the middle one. And remember that nosotros, vosotros has no stem change. Let's look at the second group of stem change, which is O to UE. The verb is poder. The O changes into UE. So when we conjugate poder, the conjugation is yo puedo. The O changes into UE, so we write P. Instead of the O, we write UE, then D. Then we omit the ER and write an O, because the ER ending for yo is O. The second one we do puedes. We cut the O and write UE. We cut the ER and write ES, because for tu the ending is ES, and so forth. Notice that for nosotros and vosotros, we have no stem change. Now, let's look at one sentence. Yo puedo hablar el español. I can speak or I am able to speak Spanish. Notice that we do not conjugate the second verb with poder. Here are some verbs you can conjugate of O to UE. Here are the answers. Let's look at some sentences. Contar means to narrate. Yo cuento una historia. I narrate a story, because contar means to narrate. Yo resuelvo sumas de matemáticas. I solve math sums. Sumas de matemáticas means math sums. Yo almuerzo a las 2. I have lunch at 2. Yo muestro mi tarea a la profesora. I show my homework to my teacher, because mostrar means to show. Let's look at the third and final group of stem changing verbs. This group is known as E to I stem changing verbs. Let's look at an example of this verb. Pedir, it means to order or to request. Its E changes into I. Pedir's conjugation is the following. Yo pido, tú pides, ella, usted pide, nosotros pedimos, vosotros pedís, ellos, ellas, ustedes piden. Basically, what is happening, when we are conjugating the verb pedir, we cut the E and write I instead. Hence, we do P, then we cut the E and write an I, because as the rule suggests, the E changes into I. Then we copy the spelling again, we write the D, then we cut the IR, because this is the ending, and then write an O. Because all the IR ending verbs have the ending of O for yo. Then we do tu pides, we cut the IR and write ES. Because for tu we write ES for IR verbs. Notice that for nosotros and vosotros we have no stem change. And we do pedimos, we cut the IR and write imos for nosotros, because that is the endings for IR verb. For pedis, we cut the IR and write an IS, because that is the ending for vosotros. Let's look at some sentences. Yo pido un plato indio. I ordered an Indian dish. Un plato indio means an Indian plate or an Indian dish. Please conjugate these E to I verbs neatly in your notebook, and then we will go over the answers. Here are the answers. As you can see, here is a list of other irregular verbs. The first verb is dar, which means to give. Let's make a sentence with this. Yo doy un regalo. Yo doy means I give. Un regalo means a gift. Yo doy un regalo means I give a gift. The second verb is ir. It means to go. We can make a sentence like Yo voy a mi escuela. Yo voy means I go. A mi escuela means to my school. Number 3. Salir. To leave or to go out. Salir is always associated with de. You can say Yo salgo, which means I leave or I go out. De mi casa, my house. Yo salgo de mi casa, I leave my house or I go to my house. I go out of my house. Poner means to put. Yo pongo, I put, un plato, a plate. Yo pongo un plato, I put a plate. Number 4, jugar, to play. This verb is U to UE verb stem change. We have very few verbs of this stem change. Jugar is the most popular one. Yo juego, I play. Con un perro, with a dog. Yo juego con un perro. I play with a dog. Venir, to come. Yo vengo, I come, a la fiesta, to the party. Yo vengo a la fiesta. I come to the party. Decir, to tell. This verb is an E to I verb and it also has a GO like venir, vengo. Yo digo, I tell. La verdad, the truth. Yo digo la verdad. I tell the truth. Hacer, to do or to make. You can say yo hago la tarea. Yo hago means I do. La tarea means the homework. Yo hago la tarea, I do the homework. Please make one sentence each with these verbs. And you have learned a lot of Spanish sentences.